Hello everyone, today a special episode of the new motorcycles for 2025 from the biggest motorcycle show in Europe, directly from the beautiful French city of Lyon. I will start with the luxury bikes, then super sport bikes, then sport bikes on a budget, followed by all the new touring and adventure sport bikes. Then we'll have a quick look at the middleweight naked bikes and the beginner motorcycles. And finally, I will show you some custom bikes that I loved and that I think worth seeing. Without further ado, let's dig in. Okay, let's start with Bimota. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Bimota, it's an Italian design company that uses Kawasaki engines and transmission. Then they add their own or third parties components to make exquisite bikes. For 2025, they present three models. The most beautiful one for my taste is this one, which is called KB4. It produces 142 horsepower and it weighs less than 190 kilograms weight. That's not even for 20 pounds. Although it costs 34,000 euros. Wow. Their most exotic model is TCH2, which is based on the Kawa H2 that produces 230 horsepower, would cost you 64 big fat one to own. Their Adventure Tour model, which is H2 Terra, weighs only 240 kilograms weight. We are talking about 470 pounds, something like that, and produces 200 horsepower. So it's equipped with the engine of H2 SX from Kawasaki. This bike has this weird steering system developed with the aim of reaching a 35 degrees turning radius, which claimed to optimize its maximum cornering performance thanks to optimal weight distribution. For me, I must personally test this bike in order to believe that. They claim a handcrafted paintwork, and for me, it's really special. However, they still didn't announce the price yet, so let's wait. They even share the huge, stupid muffler that Kawa makes, this one. It has eccentric swing arm mounts. This bike has a side mounted radiator which enhances weight distribution and improves handling, they claim. The exhaust headers looks really, really, really cheap on this bike. For me, I really adore that retro cafe racer style on the KB4. Okay, with only some cosmetic improvements, the Rush 1000 from MV Augusta comes this year at 50,000 euros as a price tag. And if you don't know this bike already, it's a Hyper Naked that has 13.4 to 1 compression ratio with 208 horsepower at 12,000 or 13,000 RPM, I think. And in my opinion, this is one of the sexiest naked bikes in the market today. Although you must have a sexy pocket as well in order to be able to get yourself a bike like this. But it's really beautiful. I love it. The first champion we have in this show this year is the Honda 1000 Hornet. I anticipate Honda will sell millions of units of this bike. It's based on 2017 CBR engine. You've got quick shifter, and for this SP version, you'll get Brembo Stelma 4 piston, Öhlins TTX 36 ProLink, 107 Newton meter of torque with 157 horsepower, 5 years guarantee. All this for less than 12,000 euros. And it's a Honda, for God's sake. That's a great deal, in my opinion. It has multiple riding modes, 5-inch TFT screen, adjustable fork, and you'll got these new control buttons from Honda. This is the standard version of the Hornet 1000. You have regular suspension and brakes, and 5 horsepower less. I don't know why they made this, but this is what you got. And you would save $1,000 for this. The red color doesn't fit this bike very well, I gotta say. I like the seat though. The RSV4 from Aprilia comes this year with stunning colors, a brilliant tones between the light blue and the orange red. Look at that. Oh my god. Side panels, fully carbon fiber. The wings are well designed to create more downforce for the front wheel, and supposedly reduces drag at the same time. So we have to test that. But yeah, very cool bike. The Tiono V4 1100 comes this year with much more attractive frontal spoiler. It's well made. A complete different set of colors. A brushed aluminum tank ring. And this browny black, really cool. They added a carbon fiber sunshade for the TFT screen. They removed the lower fairing completely, and even the sales team here don't know the reason. Probably, if I have to guess, it's to reduce the heat. We know this bike is really hot on summer days. Although it's uglier now with this, you know. The frame is black instead of silver as previously, with some white lines. Beautiful integrated. The tail lights look sexier now too. They should have made the swing arm in black too to match the frame. With the exception of engine mapping, that's new this year, all other specs remain the same, as I can see. Okay, with the category of sports bikes on a budget, a lot of companies have declared the war against each other. The R9 from Yamaha is definitely a champion this year, and I anticipate a lot of sales for this bike. It has enough power for the street, and even if you are not crazy enough to take an R1 to the track, so this is your bike. The famous CP3 engine, but with the same design flaws too. So, the super ugly exhaust we see on Tracer 9 and MTO 9. The rear tire is 180 only, so don't expect a lot. Also, the rear suspension doesn't look promising. It looks like really cheap, to be honest. Also, they did not improve the design flow of the MT-09. This huge space that you can see through that gives you the impression of a 125cc bike. You know what I mean? Okay, so initially it seems a good bike. However, for 14k in euros, that's too much in my opinion. It's overpriced. It is overpriced, definitely. And back to Europe this year to participate in this war is the amazing CBR 600, equipped with the front winglets in blue and with the sexiest component in its class, which is this amazing muffler that I adore for years. It's part of the personality of this bike. It adds a lot of character. Honda stopped exporting this bike for the past couple of years due to the environment regulations, and now it's back for real. It has 6-axis IMU, it has the HSTC for torque control, and the quick shifter is standard. You have Showa fully adjustable suspension. Unfortunately, a very small TFT screen, although this might not be a deal stopper for a lot of you. And I wonder why Honda hasn't updated the control buttons to their new ones on this bike. Still has the old 2018 ones. Rear tire is 180. You have Tokiko front brake. And it's 25% cheaper than the Yamaha R1. So, Yamaha people, if you think you are alone in the market, you are not. Pay attention to this beast. It's much better deal in my opinion. And for the orange lovers, KTM's trying to get out of the predicament it has put itself in by launching this most beautiful sport bike, in my humble opinion, at KTM lines, which has a huge torque actually. 103 Newton meter at 7000 RPM. Wow. For a twin cylinder, that's something really interesting. A very cool rear saddle. A super wide tablety TFT screen. It has only light touches of the orange, so it keeps the personality of KTM without overflowing orange everywhere. It has Michelin power tires, which are cool. Really cool cockpit. I love it. Fully adjustable suspension, cruise control. Brembo master cylinder. It has very nice lines below the subframe, which is a very cool design, I think. Moving to the adventure tours or adventuring touring bikes and sport touring bikes, I'll put them all in one category. And we are going to start with the Kawasaki Versys 1000, and now it's called 1100. And increasing the displacement has improved the power from 120 horsepower to 134 now, which is cool. It has everything you are looking for in an adventure bike, like heated grips, cruise control, all the saddlebags, fog lights, as you can see, even cornering lights. But they are still having the very stupid small TFT screen, sorry. And this is not acceptable in 2025 for an adventure bike. This should be handling as a traveling machine, right? And so they still have this screen. I'm sorry, but this is the way it is. And even though this is the fully loaded version. And of course, it has the semi-active suspension from Kayaba, which is cool. But look at this USB port thing that looks like you just bought it from Amazon or something. I don't know. I don't like that. Anyhow, it seems like a good bike, but it has some flaws. Sometimes you don't understand the factory, what they are doing. So it is what it is. So let's move on. Staying with Kawasaki, the new Ninja 1100 SX has dropped its power from 142 horsepower last year to 136 horsepower this year, despite increasing the displacement from 1 liter to 1100 cc, which is annoying. That means it shares the exact same engine of the Versys 1000, which is not cool. I mean, this is the only sport touring bike in the market beside the Suzuki GT. I mean, the real sport non-adventure tourer. And now, for some reason, they are degrading it, which really annoys me. But yeah. For the Tenere 700 or T7 in some countries, the headlights have been refreshed a bit, plus updated electronic rider aids, suspension, cockpit control. It has the new Yamaha cockpit control on almost all models, and a new display. Although I see the display, it looks identical to me, but they claim that it has been changed a bit. Yamaha said that their air intake also has been redesigned as well for the T7 in 2025. Let's move on. Coming to Suzuki V-Strom 1050, featuring a 90 degrees V-twin Doke engine with the Suzuki clutch assist system. You have 6-axis IMU. This DE version has a 21-inch wired spoked wheel, which is €800 more expensive than the standard version over there, of 10 spoke cast aluminum wheels with 19 to 17 inches tires. Both have switchable 2 modes ABS, low RPM assist, and hill hold control system, which is quite special. And the seats have rough anti-slipping edges. The only problem I see is the very high tank. It's similar to the issue of the Yamaha T7. Yeah. The tank is quite elevated on this bike, even though it's only 20 liters tank. So we're talking about 5 gallons. So it's unjustifiable actually. It's not super high, but it's still quite high. Quickly passing by the Suzuki Giscus 1000 GT, and I want to focus on this bike because I own the last year's version from this bike, and this year they changed, they added the heated grips. They didn't have this before, and they changed the seat. They made new seats, new design. I'm not sure if they are more comfortable or not. The salesman claims so, but we are not sure about that. And it has now a new color. Before you used to have only the blue one or the red, and now we have a gray color which looks different. And that's it for this model this year. This is 2025 Tracer 9 GT Plus. As you can see, they changed lights. The front is completely different. Actually, I believe the older one. 2024 is much more beautiful, I think. That's objective. Although I like the coloring of this one. Still the same brakes, the two pistons. The cornering light is now better than before, as they claim. Now it has the radar, of course. And they have the small pocket here, where you can leave your telephone. Of course, it's equipped with Garmin app. You have to download the Garmin app in order to use the navigation and connect it with a cable. Still have the ugly exhaust. I don't know why they keep it. Still in the adventure touring category with the new Triumph Tiger 900 with 180mm adjustable Marzocchi suspension, integrated fog lights, 3 cylinders engine that produces 108 horsepower. It costs 18,000 euros, which is a huge amount, I think. But at the end of the day, it features a bigger 7-inch TFT screen, integrated heated grips, and heated seats as well. In the middleweight naked bike category, Honda introduces a facelifted beautiful CB750 Hornet for 8,000 euros, which gives you a good 91 horsepower. It has wide saddles, even for the passenger, looks quite comfortable. You have a wide tank for your knees. And it's quite reasonable motorcycle. Well made, Honda, well made. Our third champion today is the most premium middleweight naked bike, which is the Z900 SE for 2025. It's the first time ever I fell in love with the Z900. I have no doubt, guys, that Kawasaki spent enough time to redesign this bike. They started with super attractive taillights, then silver coloring plus metallic black, then just light touches of green. Oh my god. All brightened up by the Kashima golden all-in suspension, front and back. It's beautiful. On the low side you have the Dunlop Sportmax crappy tires. That's a negative point. The price is a bit hefty at 12,000 euros, I think, but you have excellent brakes front and back. In theory, of course. I haven't tested the bike yet to to definitely come to a conclusion. But in theory, yeah. Again with KTM, this time the 990 Duke R. With some improvements, including a very wide TFT screen, cruise control. You have a lot of carbon fiber components everywhere. You still have the engine of 120 horsepower. It has a nice dashboard overall. Still in the middle class with the MT-09 SP version that is full of features. Beautiful colors, an enriched TFT screen, Öhlins suspension, front and back. You have Brembo calipers and master cylinders. But for 16,000 euros, really? For an ugly bike? I'm sorry, it's subjective, I know, but still, very expensive. Also, despite having keyless ignition, you still have to turn a knob to start the bike. Don't get the point. It has the new Yamaha menu control buttons, which looks better than before. So interesting motorcycle overall, but not for the price though. Alright, let's talk about the beginners friendly bikes that are new for 2025. Starting with the KTM 390 SMC-R that's finally arrived with a quite shocking price, I believe. 6,750 euros for a single cylinder 45 horsepower with 154 kilograms dry weight. That's made in China, with all due respect, is quite expensive, I find. It does have a real TFT screen and actual menu buttons rather than the previous 690 SMC-R. But it's still expensive, I think. Come on, guys. Really, it's too much. I think it's overpriced. Okay, let's move on. One of the bikes I really love for beginners would be the Benelli Leoncino, and this year it comes with some facelifted elements. It's really beautiful. This one is a scrambler style. The saddle is kind of like, this is like synthetic leather, and this is very soft. It has very soft feeling. I really love this bike. Even though I think it's assembled in China, I'm not sure, but it has very good feeling. I think it's nice. For my newbies riders, this bike looks promising. It has what it takes as a sporty bike for beginners. So it has 45 horsepower, 43 almost Newton meter, which is good as a torque. You have 17 inches wheel of 110 and 150, which is quite enough for a beginner sport bike. The dry weight is 158 kilograms, which is within the acceptable range. You will got 310 brake discs, which is cool. You have a balanced caliper. You have a TFT screen, and you have a keyless go. So I think it's a good bike, considering its price around 6,000 euros, and it looks cool as well. So why not? I think you should consider this bike. This is a very good bike, and I think it's very beautiful as well. A very good design. This is the CL 500. Produces about 47 horsepower, and I think it has a good feeling to it. It's good quality. It's Honda at the end of the day. It's very good design, by the way. I love it. I think this would be a good beginner bike. And it's sexy. It has this classic feel to it, based on the old model of 75. They gave you a digital dash. And our champion for the beginners category has to be the Aprilia 457 Tuono. Although the price isn't announced yet, but I can see that it's a naked bike that has a 2-cylinder engine with 47 horsepower and excellent torque. It has braided brake lines and a good passenger seat, and overall a very good design. Once they announced the price, if it wasn't expensive, I think this is a very good bike. Moi aussi. One of the great bikes this year, I think, is the new DRZ4, which replaces the old DRZ 400. And it came on 2 setups. This is the Supermoto, and over there, I will go right there. I will cover it later. the enduro version. So, and it has a nice color as well. So, it's really nice. Not a big fan of this design. So I don't like it. The face of it is a little bit weird. I wouldn't mind it on the enduro version, but as a supermoto, I don't think it's super sexy. Has only one disc, but with ABS. I don't know if it has ABS switch mode off. Yes, you have a button specific for the ABS switching. And as a supermoto, so for the dual sport category, the old DRZ 400 has been resurrected as DRZ 4S this year. That I really cannot wait to try this bike out. The price isn't announced yet. It has a full adjustable suspension. The saddle is removable via a key, which is a cool feature. It has 5-speed transmission. The oil filler cap is over there. Of course, 21-inch front wheel and 18-inch in the back. As I mentioned earlier, switchable ABS. You've got 38 horsepower and 37 newton meter of torque, 151 kilograms wet, and 8.7 liter of gas tank. Really cool. Another cool dual sport bike is the facelifted Beta Alp 4. It has a new look for this year and improved ergonomics. I'm excited to try this bike soon. For people who are not familiar with it, it's a single cylinder 4-stroke engine with twin overhead camshaft. It's a light adventure bike that has a good feeling with exciting menu buttons and a big TFT screen. And it feels quite solid. I really love this bike. I'm really excited to try this bike. It weighs 140 kilograms with a great capacity of 11 liters tank. That's almost 3 US gallons. Quite interesting. Okay, let me share with you some individual custom motorcycles I've seen in the show. Uh, the, my first is this, which is probably the most beautiful speed triple I've ever seen. It's won a custom contest. It has a chrome plated wheels. A lot of carbon fiber pieces, strategically positioned. A state of art brownie black color with brownie beige colored leather seat. And look at the saddle cover in fiber. The subframe is aluminum brushed. I love this chrome wheels. The color is a bit goldy premium. Wow, it's amazing. I really love this bike. Who needs a saddlebag? Instead, you could have huge speakers on this 1987 1200 Sportster from Harley, made by Phil Bikes. It has an amazing color. It even comes with your own helmet that it's customly made to fit the color of the bike. What an amazing bike. I love it. Now, if you like simpler designs, this is the most beautiful bike. Considering how simple it is. Like it's built of metal pipes or something. Now you have two chains here and one chain here. Okay, that's interesting. I love the design of this bike. Look at the bars. Oh my god. It's really amazing. It's completely chrome. It's based on a Shovel 1978. Guys, do you remember the 1982 CBX 1000 from Honda with the transverse 6-cylinder engine? Now, somebody thought it's a good idea to transform it into this bike with a side-mounted linear engine setup and a spaghetti of exhaust headers. Then connected with the shaft drive of Goldwing GL1000. And here it is. It's an amazing looking bike. It really is. I love it. This bike reminds me of the old Cadillac, or Oldsmobile, I might have to say. It's really amazing. I swear you have the feeling that you're looking at Chevy Bel Air. They imitate the real tail light of the old Cadillac. And it's called HD Harley Davidson Bel Air. So this is a cool demo of the CP3 engine from Yamaha with the AMT automatic transmission that you could find in Tracer 9 or MT-09. And with the gear indicator, it's quite a creative idea. Well done, Yamaha. This is something I liked. It's on Suzuki MS 8S, which is a small bike. And they have this packages attached to it. By the way, guys, Suzuki packages usually are very good, are very well designed. And this is not a soft shell and not hard case. It's in between. But it's extremely well designed. Like, I really love them. And they made them in a way that it's Velcro strip, you know, very easy to open and close. And in addition to that, you have this small pocket on the side, like really well thought of, you know. And of course, easily take them off. I really love these bags. This combi has participated in the Grand Prix 1977. Just to compare it with the combis we use today, no support, no protection here at all, no protection on the elbow. But I have to say the leather thickness seems alright. We usually today use 1.3, 1.4 millimeters. I think this is the same. I think this guy fell off his bike. Interesting. Zipper looks funny. Nothing on the knees, nothing at all, just see, yeah, we have a little bit of here. Yeah, we have here protection, although it's not hard knock protection. It's soft, but it's there. Interesting. I believe this is for Elgan, the French brand. It's not well known. And supposedly this suit has participated in a race and he fell. So this says France 2014 Super Sport 600cc. And yeah, it's quite similar to what we buy usually. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I can't tell which brand is that. There you go.